Union Pacific is gambling with safety. That's the allegation from several men who work for the company.
Yeah, these longtime rail workers are speaking with Get Gephardt in the hopes that changes could be made before somebody else is hurt or maybe even killed.
These are two different train derailments in our area in just this past week. Here, train cars leaving the tracks in Idaho. Here, train cars carrying cars leaving the tracks in Nevada. We've been investigating these derailments and several others, speaking to some of Union Pacific's own employees who tell us that they are not at all surprised that cars keep jumping the tracks.
It's the world's largest steam locomotive.
Union Pacific Railroad has made a lot of headlines in our area in recent weeks. Like when Big Boy came rolling through last month commemorating the 150th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad.
It's a big deal.
But the headlines have not all been so jubilant. In March, a derailment in Juab County sent 24 cars off the tracks, 9 of which were tankers carrying phosphoric acid, biodiesel, propane, and other non-hazardous materials. To clean up the mess, officials blew it up.
You see the smoke coming from the ground?
Then just last month, another derailment. This one shut down Interstate 80 because among the 19 cars that left the tracks were some that were carrying hazardous materials, which reportedly spilled from the mangled cars. Some of the train cars that managed to hold on were carrying explosives. After the Juab County derailment, my phone began ringing. I have now heard from 5 former and current employees of Union Pacific. None of them would talk to me on camera. They said they fear retribution from the railroad company, but each one implored the same thing. Please look into Union Pacific because the company has a whole bunch of new practices that workers feel are not safe.
There's a flammable sign on that one.
Placards, see?
This is Kevin Lofton. He worked for Union Pacific for 20 years, but he does not anymore. Now he's the national union rep for what are called carmen. It is the job of carmen to inspect every single car that comes into a train yard and make sure it is safe. It is an important job, and it has been wildly cut back.
Union Pacific has way fewer carmen right now making sure that these trains are safe.
That's correct.
Than at any other time in your entire career?
That's correct. Even more than the economic downturn in 2008, 2009. Not this many people were furloughed and cut off.
Layoffs have certainly contributed to a booming bottom line. The company's stock price has been rocketing up since it implemented a policy which it called precision scheduled railroading. Longer trains, fewer workers, quicker turnarounds. It is saving the railroad money, but my sources say at the cost of public safety.
Just taking employees out of the equation, boosting the bottom dollar for corporate greed purposes.
Train employees tell me they face tremendous pressure to inspect cars quickly and keep trains moving. A carman who worked here at the Ogden Rail Yard says the amount of time he has to inspect has been cut in half. He now gets less than 90 seconds per car.
And they want them to run just as fast and quick down that rail as they can.
Is that safe?
No, it's not safe. No. We need to get the commodity delivered. They need to get it delivered. We get all that. But they want to take all the safety aspect out of the way and get people like us out of the way.
Subcommittee will come to order.
Furloughing thousands while degrading safety.
Precision scheduled railroading is also getting national attention. Just last month, rail workers were in Washington, D.C., taking their concerns to Congress.
This push for longer trains with fewer crews has reached a breaking point.
That Committee on Transportation hearing also produced this, an 18-page list of rail workers from several companies, each describing safety issues they have experienced on the job under this new way of business. The document claims many incidents have been reported to the Federal Railroad Administration. Where Union Pacific is concerned, one carman reports, quote, being coerced into not inspecting the freight cars properly in order to meet time constraints or face discipline. A mechanic carman reported, quote, it is just a matter of time before an overlooked defect causes a catastrophe somewhere. And a Union Pacific machinist reported to Congress he is, quote, given an unrealistic time frame to complete federal tasks, such as inspections and air brake tests. Remember that train they had to blow up in Juab? We are still waiting on an official cause of the derailment, which could take up to a year. But my sources tell me a wheel was the cause. It was completely flat on one side. And that happens, they say, when a wheel's brakes are locked up or are sticking. Union Pacific refuses to talk about any of this on camera, but in a statement wrote, quote, "Our preliminary investigation into the Juab County derailment's cause determined a mechanical issue with the car. Inspection routines are being reviewed to determine how we can improve employees' processes." As for the layoffs, UP says, quote, "Although we are working to move rail cars faster, enabling our customers to better serve their markets, safety is not sacrificed."
Union Pacific says safety is their #1 priority.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
You believe it?
No, I don't. I don't believe it is #1 priority.
Lofton says the fix would be to abandon precision scheduled railroading and put safety inspectors back to work before something happens in an area not quite so rural.
It would be catastrophic. And unfortunately, until something of that nature happens, I don't know that anything is going to be done.
Matt Gephardt, 2 News.